Hello and welcome to Views and Reviews. In this episode, we are talking about COVID-19 and how it's affected the women's game. Joining me today, I have FA referee Chloe Matthews and Wolves women manager Daniel McNamara. Welcome to you both. How are you both? You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate.
Good. So, let's begin with you, Daniel. You are top of Women's National League Division 1, having played 6 matches and won all of them. But there are fears that the season may be null and void. And just like it was last season, and you'd won 14 out of 15 games. Just wanted to know how you are feeling about that and how it has affected your team.
Yeah, I think it's a tricky time for everyone again, mate. I don't think after last year's devastation, I don't think we ever imagined that we'd be facing similar again. So yeah, it's affected us all in different ways. I think this last lockdown beyond football has affected the whole country and probably the worst of all of them, if that's fair to say. So it's been difficult. It's been really difficult not interacting. We were spending 40, 50 hours a week at times together during the season last year when we thought we were going to achieve our goals, and to go from that to nothing and then back to 40, 50 hours a week for the start of this season and then cut off again. It does affect people because these are not just my players, they're also friends. As I said, it's a really tight-knit group that we've got, and yeah, the last couple of weekends working with various players on a one-to-one basis has been really refreshing just to interact. And as you said, it's got to be at distance and it's all been in accordance with the guidelines. But yeah, you just want to put your arm around a couple of your players and tell them it's all going to be okay. But and you know what, I probably need that at times as well from some of my staff members. But we just got to hope that normality is fast approaching, and eventually we'll get there and better times around the corner, as people keep telling me.
Definitely. Would you say you're a hands-on manager then?
Well, I think you have to use that term very, very sort of. I'm close to my group, Conal. I think I got a lot of respect for the girls and what they do and what they give up. But yeah, I think as a manager, I think I understand my players. I think that's why I get so much out of them. I understand my players. I take the time to understand them and really get to know them. And look, coaching is often people get that confused with what and how much football you've played and how much you can affect people as footballers. When actually, I think a huge part of coaching is having that understanding of who you're working with and what makes them tick, because not all 25 of my players all respond and react the same to each situation. So yeah, I think that's probably a strength of mine is being able to put my arm around some of the players and really get the best out of them. And by the way, some of them players don't want that. Again, I talk about understanding your players. Some of them want to be told, and Chloe on the call will be able to tell you which ones they are, I'm sure.
I was gonna ask Chloe, how has it affected the refereeing side of the game? Obviously, with players as well. Each one's different, as Daniel's just said, so it's about keeping them in check.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, referees, just like all the players, we want to be on the pitch. Like, we've all got the same love for the game, and ultimately that's what we want to do, and that's been taken away from us, as it has been for everyone, and which is not great to see. Training as a referee is generally quite lonely anyway, apart from obviously every now and again you have sort of your group sessions where you meet up in say St George's Park or somewhere like that, but generally obviously we still go out for runs and stuff. The only difference for me massively at the moment is not being able to go to the gym, not being able to go to tracks, which is what we use for our fitness testing. So perhaps in terms of fitness testing, I think a bit more preparation time would be needed. And it's going to be very difficult going back into a game because ultimately none of us are match fit who haven't been refereeing in the Championship and the WSL. Those of us who do referee in the National League and below, we aren't match fit. Yeah, we can go out for runs, but it's not the same as being on the pitch at all. It's the same for the players as well.
Definitely. Do you think there's been enough communication regarding knowing when you're going to be starting again?
It's difficult to say because on the one hand, no, but then you've got to understand, like, obviously there's the whole uncertainty around it. I mean, that just shows from how many times we've been put back into lockdown. It's not just been a case of we've had one lockdown and we're waiting to come out of it. That they have tried, it's not worked, it's happened again. So yes, there's uncertainty around it, and I think that's only natural. Like, ultimately they've got to put, you know, not just players but everyone involved in football, like officials, volunteers, coaches, everyone, they've got to think about their safety, which ultimately comes first ahead of a football match being played.
Do you think that it will change the way you referee games in terms of managing the players and the managers? I know you said earlier on that you've had to keep Daniel in check a few times. Well, he actually admitted it himself. But do you think it will change the way you referee games?
I think it will in some respects, but I don't think that's necessarily for the wrong reasons. I think that's because ultimately there's that desire to want to play a football match again, just like I want to referee a football match again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't done it in so long. Like, so yeah, I did find when sort of it was the pre-season part last year, when we were able to play some friendlies, there probably was a bit more aggression from the players, but I think that was more because, not because they're aggressive people, but I think because they've not played football in so long, and it's just getting that sort of energy and that willing to play football out of the system because they've not been able to do it for so long. So yeah, I think obviously that is going to have to come into play a little bit, but ultimately, like I say, it's for the right reasons. But I think I will have to be conscious of, obviously, the game's going to have changed. As Dan said earlier, the players' mentality may well have changed. Everyone's changed in the last 12 months. I think anyone who says they haven't maybe isn't quite being honest with themselves, in my opinion. But yeah, I think games will have to be sort of, we'll approach them slightly differently, because obviously there's the whole safety aspect of the ground, not just the match itself. But yeah, I think it will be a big change from before.
Do you think that, Daniel, there will be bigger issues after this in terms of like mental health, for example?
Yeah, I think it's a great point, and it's something that us at Wolves have been hugely aware of. You know, the football club supported us right the way through this period, and you know, I'm not afraid to sit here and say I'm one of them that the football club's had to support with regards to mental health. So yeah, I think, again, we talk about responsibilities as coaches. One of them responsibilities now is as we return to play and as we do get back on the grass, it's again understanding your players. You know, are the players that you sent away back in December, they're still the same people that came back in March, because it's the little things that often tell you the big signs, if you like. It's how they get out the car, and if they're interacting with the same players that they used to interact with, and you know, are they as jovial as they used to be? And you know, I think it's a huge message we've got to get right across football, not just female game, male game, youth football, right across the game. We've all got to really come together and understand that people aren't going to come back the same people, and we've got to recognise that and support them best we can.
What would you like to see happen? Would you, if this did happen again, would you think they would know? Do you think they would know what they've got plans in place? So if this did happen again, they know what to do.
We have our own sort of pyramid that we're trying to go up in terms of promotion. So every season we're aiming to get that promotion. We're aiming for those cup finals or those semi-finals. So it's not like just a case of we're going out there refereeing a game, going home. There's a lot more to it than that, like that we're thinking of, that perhaps the clubs may not be aware of, and I wouldn't necessarily expect them to be, because you know they've got their own focuses. But no, I'd love to see the season carry on, providing obviously it's safe to do so.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. It's been fantastic. Thanks for having you on.
Thanks, mate.